Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
New information coming in about the car explosion at one of the busiest U.S.-Canadian border crossings. Officials are working to assure the public this does not bear the signs of a terrorist attack. Thanks for being with us for the news at 6. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. This happened about 11:20 this morning at the Rainbow International Bridge, one of several border crossings around Niagara Falls. Those crossings were shut down. We are told they are now reopening.
Jacqueline Francis has been keeping tabs on security at our local border crossings, including the Ambassador Bridge. Jacqueline, there's always a domino effect with an incident like this.
Yeah, that's right. But things have been moving really smoothly here over the Ambassador Bridge. There's some rush hour, but that's totally to be expected, especially with this holiday weekend we're getting into. But officials say they did remain on high alert because all of the borders, there's heightened security at all the U.S.-Canadian borders. That does remain in effect. We do want to get to some video that's just into our newsroom. It actually shows the car going airborne moments before the explosion. Again, this happened on the Rainbow Bridge that's connecting New York and Canada near Niagara Falls. We've been told the car was speeding leading up to that. Other new information tonight, at least one person is dead. The person behind the wheel was a New York State driver. No other details, though, on their identity at this time. We're also learning no Customs and Border Patrol officials were hurt in this incident. That's good news considering how close that checkpoint was to the explosion. All of this comes as New York's governor is putting minds at ease tonight, saying it does not appear to be a terrorist attack.
At a time when there's such high anxiety, stress levels are already high, and we've been on heightened alert since October 7th. That's why it's so important for me to stand here and tell the world, based on what we know at this moment, and again, anything can change, there is no sign of terrorist activity with respect to this crash.
Again, things are moving smoothly here as all the border crossings between Canada and Michigan remain open tonight, and they did not close at all today. So again, there's no backups that are really happening because of that. So reporting live, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Yeah, all right, Jacqueline.
Right now, thousands of holiday travelers are also taking to the skies ahead of Thanksgiving. Take a look at this live flight tracker showing the dozens of planes flying over Metro Detroit at this very moment.
It's unnerving, isn't it, to see that many planes at one moment. Thankfully, not hearing, though, about any major delays or cancellations at DTW, despite storms bringing rain and wind across the south and into the northeast. So let's check in with Hank Winchester and see how travelers are feeling and faring. Hank?
Hey, Devin, good evening to you. Good evening, everybody. Take a live look behind me. We're here at the McNamara Terminal here at Detroit Metro. You can see, some travelers. We expect to see that, but here's the deal. Not huge crowds tonight. That is the great news. We saw a lot more people making their way through the airport yesterday, but as you would predict, this weekend is going to be extremely busy. More than 1 million people making their way through Detroit Metro alone. The holiday rush is on. Millions of people across the country flying. In fact, almost 1 million alone making their way through Metro Airport this weekend. People like Chuck flying today to Jersey. A lot of people worried about the big crowds. What was your plan to make sure that you were going to be able to get through security on time?
I came 3 hours before my flight.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Chuck and many travelers we spoke with today getting here extra early, hours early, to avoid any potential problems. Are you a little relieved seeing the airport right now? It's not that crowded.
Actually, surprisingly, it's not that crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting here early paid off.
Yeah, of course.
The good news here at Detroit Metro, there are not big crowds today. In fact, we saw bigger crowds yesterday. No problems right now being reported at security checkpoints, and the majority of flights taking off on time. It doesn't look that crowded right now.
No, I was surprised. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back out here live at Metro, just took a look at the big boards for you here down the terminal. All the flights that we saw tonight taking off on time. There are no major cancellations. Also, the main security checkpoint back here to my left, the wait is just a few minutes right now. So if you're traveling tonight, great news. No problems right now here at McNamara. Same thing over at Evans. But if you are traveling this weekend, remember Sunday, predicted to be the busiest travel day of the year. So plan ahead. We're live here tonight at Metro. Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. Local
Great
4.
advice.
Yep.
All right, Hank, thank you.
Plan ahead, especially given the weather that may be rolling our way then. We'll get an update on that in a minute. Parade Company's been very busy rolling out the floats, getting them all set for tomorrow's big America's Thanksgiving Parade.
That's right. This is Sky 4 over the stretch of Woodward Avenue, where Detroit's great tradition returns tomorrow morning with our coverage starting at 6 a.m. here on Local 4. Mara McDonald is at ground level with a peek at what's in store. Mara.
Kimberly, take a look behind me. This is Mother Goose. She is the oldest float in the entire parade, and she's had a 110% makeover. Her paint is so beautiful. If you look at her feathers, the detail is incredible. And we've been talking to families out here about why they want to come, and listen to what Eddie Rumps from Bloomfield Hills told us. Take a listen.
I just like to see, like, what people can build if they put time and effort into it. And I just like seeing everything, because like tomorrow I'm going to be watching it on TV and I'm going to be like, oh, I've seen that.
Back here live, he gets it. There is so much time and effort that are put into all these floats. The other one that's getting a lot of attention from the kids is the Wizard of Oz float. And look who the presenting sponsor is of that one. But look at the poppies. They've redone them this year. It's just so beautiful. So many families taking advantage of being on Woodward tonight to get a good up-close look at these floats and then maybe hang out and go to dinner. We're live in Midtown along the parade route. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Yeah, just absolutely beautiful, and so many great makeovers, too, to a lot of favorites. Mara, we appreciate it.
So we kind of need things to fall in line, and they have been.
They have been, as we take a live look down Woodward Avenue. And Kim, you know, this time last week we were saying,
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah, our has been just delayed, not canceled, though. So we do still have some colder weather. It's just going to take its sweet time getting here, and that's fine. Outside tonight is still cooler than normal. 43 in Detroit, Howells at 41, also in Pontiac, and 44 in Adrian. It's cold across the entire second half of the country. I mean, it's really chilly. Downtown Detroit's 43, 42 in Chicago. Parade forecast, it looks nice in the morning. Then sunshine in the afternoon warms us all the way to 45. I'll be back with a look at some snow for Sunday in just a few minutes.
Kim, thank you. The family of Tracy Golden is sharing their pain as they fight to heal roughly 1 year after the Detroit mother's murder. Today, they took a step forward on that journey, learning the fate of Golden's killer and addressing him directly.
You don't have the courage to look at me, but you killed my mother.
The daughter of Tracy Golden delivers an emotional message to the man who killed her mother.
This man deserves no mercy.
Bradley Thurman never made eye contact with the family as he learned he'd spend the next 28 to 50 years in prison for second-degree murder. He carjacked Tracy Golden outside a Detroit liquor store off Grand River near Outer Drive back in December of 2022. He ambushed and shot her in the stomach. She died at Sinai Grace Hospital where she worked.
I see how my wife was done. No chance, no nothing. Just point blank walked up, shot. Over $13 in a Dodge Journey.
It's a crime the family called senseless, a crime that tore two families apart.
She'll never see me graduate college. She'll never meet my children. She'll never be at my wedding. All of that was taken from me.
Ultimately, the judge accepted the plea deal, agreeing it would spare the family the anguish of a trial.
I'm sure I, of course, don't feel the impact as much as they have. They have suffered a loss that cannot be restored. And when you come down to it, that's the ultimate tragedy.
But he also made it clear he thought the prison term could be more severe, a sentiment matched by Golden's husband, John.
Only thing I honestly can say to you, him, and everybody in here, glad y'all got him before I did.
A lot of emotion there, and Thurman decided not to speak at his own sentencing, but does have the right to appeal if he wants. On top of Thurman's 28-year minimum prison sentence, he's expected to pay roughly $600 in court fees and fines.
After 2.5 years of searching for Deanne Warner, today her husband was charged with her murder. 53-year-old Dale Warner charged with open murder and tampering with evidence. Dee Warner was last seen April of 2021 at her home in Tipton. Local, state, and federal investigators have all been a part of the search. State police took over the case last year and say they've done several interviews and put out 70 search warrants to gather evidence to try to get to where we are now. Dee's brother, Greg Hardy, believed his brother-in-law was involved from the start because he says his sister was a victim of domestic violence.
She was a fighter, so she would be very proud of this. This isn't about somebody against somebody. This is about right and wrong. This is about accountability.
State police say their investigation is not over. They are still looking for Dee's remains. If you have any information that would help in the investigation, give them a call. Dale Warner, meanwhile, will be back in court Monday. That will be for a bond hearing.